So guys, big round of applause for Lewis. Lewis, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. Guys, welcome back to the show. I'm Lewis. Lewis, hello.
I'm back again.
He's a young man in the prime of his life. The link to his channel, I don't know if this video got up first or after the other one, but if you've not met him before, he's a great guy, a great part of the community. You can see him on my live stream regularly on a Friday and Saturday night. We're going to talk about vintage fragrances. Lewis is a young man in the prime of his life. You're how many years old?
I'm 24 years old.
So what year were you born in?
1997.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, that is so young. Oh my God. Okay, amazing. Imagine that. Born in 1997. He's 20 years younger than me, guys.
I just picked up on the thing you were hinting at, as a lot of these are going to be before I was born. But
almost all of them will be before you were born. And guys, I've got to tell you, we're going to do some old school classics. I've got all vintage fragrances here, and we're going to smell them one by one. Okay, so the first fragrance we're going to do is going to be the legendary vintage KOUROS. This is the Paris of the Ritz 1986 era. Have you smelled modern KOUROS?
I have briefly.
Sorry.
Yeah, very briefly. I can't even remember what I thought of it, but...
Okay, so this is the absolute gem vintage version. Here it is then, guys. It's Paris of the Ritz era KOUROS. Thoughts?
Would Rich Mitch be proud of this one? Only he can tell us. Yeah, definitely animalic. But I really like that. That's all I really get with this fragrance. That's why I struggled with it a little bit, is because a lot of the old school fragrances had an animalic vibe, but this is just like, it just goes straight in there, doesn't it? So there's not a lot going on for me. Like, it goes very animalic, but I may offend some people, but it's not for me. I probably wouldn't wear this, but I respect it.
Yes.
I mean, it changed everything, didn't it? So
it's a hardcore fragrance. 1981 release, Pierre Bourdon. I'm not going to rattle off the notes because there's a huge note listing, but it's got some citruses, it's got florals, it's got honey, and a lot of different animalic type musks, civet and musk itself. So very musky, very manly, but not for a 24-year-old man these days, probably.
I mean, I'd like this even if it stayed old school and animalic, but there was some maybe citrus in there or patchouli. It just seems quite basic for me, in my personal taste.
Mark out of 10 for KOUROS.
Like a 5.
Fair enough. Okay, KOUROS not getting a massive thumbs up from our young friend here. By the way, if you want to buy fragrance samples in the United States of America, Puerto Rico or Canada, you should go to myfragrancesamples.com and use my code MISTER, M-I-S-T-E-R. You'll get 50% off. Go there, there's a link in the description. If you were in those countries, would you even consider going to anywhere else for your fragrance samples?
No way, that's pure craziness.
Thank you, Lewis. We're going to go on to the next one. Something a little bit more up to date. Actually, I think this could be the year you were born. 1990. Did you say 1997?
Yeah.
By Man from Dolce & Gabbana, 1997. So here it is, the famous Zebra bottle. This is a powdery barbershop fragrance from the late 90s. Max Gavry, the perfumer. Nutmeg, lavender, spices, some of the main accords, and sandalwood. What are your thoughts, Lewis?
This is interesting because I've known about this one. I know what it's supposed to smell like, but it's just not what I thought. I thought it was going to be a bit more abrasive. It's quite smooth and sweet. Like, there's a bit of a sweetness in there.
Yes, it does have a sweetness.
Maybe that's coming from the sandalwood, and obviously lavender's in there as well. It's not coming off massively citrusy to me, but maybe that's...
It's not?
No.
Powdery, maybe?
Yeah, definitely powdery, sweet. Quite unique to have sandalwood, because I didn't know sandalwood would be in here. I'm quite surprised about what I'm getting from this, but I do like it. Doesn't smell too old school, doesn't smell dated, whatever that means, because you just wear what you want. Yeah, I'd totally rock that. I'd totally rock.
Mark out of 10.
I'm not blown away by it, but I do like it. So like maybe 7.
Okay guys, let's move on. Next we're going to 1993. It's the famous INSENSE from Givenchy. Great floral fragrance, kind of citrusy floral, a little bit of blackcurrant in there, and it's an aromatic fougere officially. What are your thoughts on this hard to find gem? This is very hard to find, Lewis. What do you think?
I actually really like this. Kind of reminiscent for me of like a niche fragrance. with the florals and stuff like that. I wouldn't be surprised to smell this in a niche bottle. Very nice, very definitely masculine, in my opinion. I'd like it, and I'd wear that as well. I'd wear it mostly for myself and just knowing it is quite unique. I like fragrances that are unique and sort of keep me entertained throughout the day. But yeah, I really like that. Yeah.
Mark out of 10 for INSENSE.
I'd say like an 8 because I love the uniqueness of it.
Unique fragrance, it was considered ahead of its time, not a huge commercial success, hence why it was discontinued before too long. But a great verdict there from Lewis. Thank you so much. Okay, let's move on to the next fragrance. Next, people, we got my all-time favourite. It's Bois de Portugal from the House of Creed. It is Mr. Smelly's all-time favourite. 1987 release, bergamot, vetiver, sandalwood, lavender, oak, moss maybe, and definitely ambergris. It's a Creed classic. It was reputedly Frank Sinatra's scent. We now know it was composed by Pierre Bourdon. How do you feel about this 1987 release?
Very nice, very classy. To be honest, it's reminding me of other things that I can't put my finger on, but I know what it's going to be. Is obviously this came first and their inspirations of that. So I've definitely recognised this style, this DNA, even this smell, because I'm sure some brands are getting very close to this. But I like it, yeah, very classy, very sophisticated, likeable to me. And yeah, I'd wear that. I'd wear it, yeah.
Awesome. Mark out of 10 for Bois de Portugal.
I would say probably like a 7.5 because I'm not blown away, but I do like it quite strongly. Yeah. There
you go, guys. That's the verdict on Bois de Portugal. 7.5 out of 10. Let's move on. Next is another real rarity. So the Bois de Portugal, by the way, you can still buy. Of course, mine's an older bottle. Most of these discontinued, or we have the vintage formulas of ones that are still made. This is Balenciaga 1990 release, and it is no longer available. Very hard to find. People really rave about this one, but mostly people who do like the old school sense. I'm intrigued to know, how does a 24-year-old man responds to Balenciaga pour homme?
So I can instantly tell you this is my favourite so far. I just feel like there's a lot going on. It smells like there's a freshness in there and a spiciness. There's just enough there to keep me entertained, but also smell likeable. And yeah, I definitely wear that 100%. I'm glad I've not offended anyone who's like, because I know the people who like this, they really like it, and it's hard to find. And yeah, I don't blame people for chasing this. It is very, very good.
So this is a very pungent masculine fragrance. It's kind of leather, spices, dark, rich woods, very complex, very long note listing. Reputedly, it was one of the first fragrances to include an oud note, but you really wouldn't pick up on that. That's one thing I don't pick up on, but it's pungent. In the same kind of breath, people might like this as they like KOUROS, but you would probably prefer this to KOUROS by the sounds of it, by a huge margin.
Yeah, it's a similar style, but it's far more complex and just more to my taste personally.
Guys, yeah, we could have a winner. Mark out of 10.
Like a 9.
Holy crap, it's a 9 out of 10. Moving on. Ladies and gentlemen, next we're going to be talking about vintage Polo Green, the Cosmere version. We've all seen this in the shop. This is the old version. So this is a piney, mossy, masculine chypre fragrance, a hint of tobacco, some rich woods, and a lot of green, very rugged green notes here. It's kind of the smell of success, reputedly, in the 1980s in the country clubs of the USA. How do you respond to this one, Lewis?
Well, the sort of concept I spoke about with the Creed, where I'm going to recognise the DNA, is going to be even more so with this one, as it's more popular. Kind of reminds me of Quorum a little bit. I really like it. I don't know, it just smells very sophisticated, very complex. No doubt this is going to be very strong, so like, I know I have confidence that if I'm going to wear it, it's going to last long, it's going to project. Yeah, very nice actually, very nice. Why don't I make things like this anymore? I don't know.
It's a great question. To some extent, the ingredients may be not allowed to be used, but it's also that times have moved on. So, mark out of 10.
It's kind of in a similar ballpark as the last one, where I really like it, so I'd give it a 9 as well.
Holy crap, guys, it's a 9 out of... I did not see that coming. Polo Green, 9 out of 10. Okay, finalement, guys, all of these other ones have been a little bit rich and stuff. This is a much more refreshing fragrance. This is the vintage formula of SAUVAGE, of course, a classic citrus aromatic, Edmund Runitska, bergamot, a little bit of rosemary, a lot of herbal accords in there. Beautiful tone of... It was hedione, a chemical sort of to do with jasmine, reputedly it has an effect on the part of a woman's brain that is deals with sexual attraction. That's actually been chemically proven with hedione. So they put it in a lot of things. It's in Aventus. It hasn't worked for me so far. More likely to work on a young man like you. How do you feel about this vintage formula of a fragrance we can still buy today?
Yeah, see, that's why it's kind of different, is that I am more familiar with this one than some of the others here. Some of these are harder to get, but I have smelled the current version of this, which I like. But undoubtedly, when you smell the older versions, there is something different. And I kind of agree with the people that say older is better. Yeah, I can still smell the citrus and the freshness in there, so it's definitely held up well.
Yeah, I'm surprised because I've got quite a few old ones and they don't seem, because I have some citrus fragrances that I buy vintage and it's gone off, but whatever chemicals they use or whatever's in that doesn't seem to age badly.
No, the citrus is still there and it's definitely not off.
Incredibly, because it's well over 20, 30 years old.
Yeah, shouts to DIOR for being able to achieve that.
Hats off to DIOR for that one.
Yeah, very, very good. Fresh. Yeah. Yeah, and I'd wear it like 100%, definitely, with confidence.
Mark out of 10 for the Eau Sauvage.
I'd say because it is such a classic and it's a Dior, I'll probably give it a 10 just because I have so much respect.
Whoa, it's a 10 out of 10 for Dior Sauvage. Amazing. So that's the actual winner.
Yeah,
the winner is Dior Eau Sauvage, the classic formula. Amazing scenes here, guys. An amazing fragrance, absolutely stunning scent. So guys, some amazing verdicts there. Let me know what you think of that. Remember to like this video and please subscribe. And guys, check us out on the live streams Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and now Monday evenings too. Okay, guys, that's all. Except for one more thing. I tell you what. I like this too much and I don't have enough bottles. I'm not going to give you this. I'll give you. You get to win the second prize. This got 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. You can keep that one because I've got about 4 bottles. It's got a dodgy sprayer. Sorry, but you'll still get the effect.
Yeah. See, this man's a really nice guy, and don't let anyone tell you any different.
I'm not really. You can't really keep it. We're just saying that for the camera. Okay. So, guys, big round of applause for Lewis. Lewis, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. Oh. If you'd like to see an extra video from me every week, sign up to my Patreon group. It's only $2 a month. There's a link in the description, and we have loads of interesting stuff going on there. I do a lot of fragrance stuff, of course, but I also talk about some other things to do with my life. It's really fun, and I hope to see you in there. As I say, you can follow the link in the description, or just go to Patreon and type in Mr. Smelly 1977.